I was working on a new collaboration today, and it reminded me of a quick conversation I heard once when I was working with a startup company uh, several years ago. One of the people came in and said, "Hey, we're out of coffee. The Keurig machine was empty," and somebody said, "Well, tell the founder to buy some. He just raised some money, so it's his responsibility to buy the coffee." And of course, I had brought my own cup of coffee, and it's kind of been my tradition since I started in business. I always brought my own coffee and not worried about drinking the company coffee. But it reminded me about the dual role you play, especially not only in startup, but any kind of a company. That kind of combination of the famous founder and the famous forager, because whether it's bringing the coffee in or simply finding your way in terms of recognizing the real differentiators from what you've learned so far. You have this idea of what you think you're going to do for somebody in a different way, and those people you can serve best. And sometimes along the way, as you're hunting and gathering like that forager through the forest, whatever it be, whether it's funding or getting some traction with your clients or even expanding into a new market, in the hunting and gathering, sometimes you find yourself defending yourself as opposed to learning. And sometimes there's a lesson in there about what to do next, and recognizing a relationship like I did today with a new collaboration I'm working on. It's recognizing the possibility of what's next as opposed to just hunting and gathering and defending that position and trying to survive, whether it's with the funding for that coffee or the funding for keeping this thing going as you're sort of building the rocket as you're soaring through the air, and recognizing that what professional collaboration might actually represent is something you never thought of several years ago or when you started this thing. And two examples I wanted to share just as inspiration for you. One was a conversation where organizing healthcare executives in the context of elevating coordination of care here in Chicago. And one of the takeaways from a woman named Lori who's in the room, she said, we don't often enough get together like this, and we could just help each other with some best practices in how we deliver care without necessarily worrying about how we compete, because we still have to go back and do the work. So that idea of sharing some of the general best practices about how to maybe work with an institutional review board or something like that was a takeaway from people who just don't often enough get together. And in that similar way, in the context of the association experience, the professional associations, where you go to these conferences, you have these really great in-person experiences. Everybody's so excited to work the room and learn from case studies and examples. But sometimes members have a difficult time, or especially people looking to get involved, maybe to elevate their career or do something different. And that professional association can be the great bridge or the pathway to this new adventure for a person. But they don't know how to start. They don't know how to find their way in the association, and they might not be ready or are somewhat intimidated by the in-person event. So that was what originally started as the idea of creating more content with the association, turned out to be creating a more personalized experience and recognizing pathways for people to get involved, and then leading to some sort of content. But it wasn't the content, it was actually that personalized experience that many members were actually struggling with. A couple of inspirations for thought, hopefully inspirations for you for innovation, and recognizing the path of learning experiences as you're foraging through that forest for your success. Talk to you soon. Thanks.